So if you're clicking on this video, I'm assuming you already know that the pre-wipe events have officially started. And for the first time ever, we get the opportunity to max out all of our skills. And not if you're just a content creator, streamer, or somebody who plays thousands of hours every wipe. You can do some of these skills in as little as 5 minutes and max them. Some will take a few hours. There might be a couple that'll take you a day or two. But the bonus is many of these can be done at the same time. Many of them are going to be done just as you play regularly. You don't have to do anything special. But as a real quick side note, if you get confused here, or you kind of get lost, or you want to go look for your own way to do it, go to the wiki. Once you're here, you can go up to the search bar and just type in character skills, and it'll bring up a page full of all the skills, or you can type in the specific skill that you want. Just for example, to get the first one out of the way that we're going to talk about, because it's really easy, is weapon maintenance. You go look at that and it says, how to raise right here. Repairing weapons in the stash while with weapons repair kit, 2.8 points for each skill. That's before this event. Right now, each time you repair, it basically gives you a full level. I wasn't looking super close. I just know that every time I leveled it, or repaired a weapon, except once, it was a full level. So maybe it gives you 90 points or something. I'm not 100% sure. Either way, it's really fast and it's easy to do. Now I'm not showing you this as some kind of brag, just trying to get you guys ideas of what's going on. I have tons of weapons in my weapon cases. I went through and repaired these. I was able to get most of the way there, but you could also go to fence, and it's probably going to get more difficult after this video goes live because people are going to be doing it, but you can buy weapons off of him. Like for example, this TT that's 51 out of 54, 2,700 or 27,000 rubles, or even broken weapons. Sorry, I didn't mean to escape again. Or I say broken weapons, disassembled weapons. Like that one's been repaired. That one could be repaired. That one could be repaired. Any of these will work. You repair those. You make sure you use the weapon repair kit, which those should still be pretty cheap. They're not all that expensive. 50, 60, 70K, you'll be able to max it out. Now after this, the other really easy one to level up that you're probably just going to do if you haven't already is metabolism. I'm going to go to skills here real quick and show you. I'm already max level, so I wasn't able to do it here, but we'll show you some B-roll of a scav. I was on a player scav. I think I ate 1 or 2 things and my level jumped instantly to level 51. It was right away. So metabolism is another one. Quickly, all you got to do is eat or drink something. Once you're lower on energy or hydration, you'll be good. Now perception, memory, and attention are also very easy ones. Just loot. You don't have to do anything extra. You're just going to loot and pick stuff up, and those will level up passively. Now, perception levels by picking up loot, attention, and I believe search level up by opening big containers. The bigger the container, the more you get. So think, your loot crates, the big wooden ones, or stashes, weapon boxes, and especially airdrops. Airdrops are going to give you a ton of search and attention experience. So if you've been saving red flares for whatever reason like me, now's the time to use them. Now, as far as all the weapon skills, it's pretty straightforward. You shoot the weapon, you get the skill. It says you have to hit your target on the wiki, though I was leveling SMGs, just testing stuff, firing into trees and stuff. So I'm not 100% sure how that works, but ideally if you're hitting targets, I think you get more experience, and reloading as well will level up, just like snipers, assault rifles, SMGs, all of that stuff, changing mags out, that will load up or level up for you on those. Now melee is a little bit different. Melee is, if you hit people, supposedly it levels up, but it doesn't look like if you hit your friends, it levels up, like people you loaded into raid with. So you have to actually kill scavs or hit people that aren't your ally, or you didn't load in your squad. I didn't spend a lot of time testing it. It's not one that I think is going to level up very fast anyways, but if you want to, go at it. I'm going to try and bring some flashes in as a raid, flash some scavs, beat them to death with sword, see what we can get out of it, if it's even practical to get it maxed up. Now, recoil control is pretty straightforward. You just shoot. And it levels up, and that's what I'm gearing up right here to do. You can see on my guy, I got a papasha. I took that off for room. With tons of drum mags and extra mags, and just shoot. And the reason I'm using the PPSH is because it doesn't overheat and jam up on you, so you can just keep going with it and dump all the mags. And then I'm going to reload and use that as an opportunity to level up mag drills as well. Do that all in one raid. We'll see how it goes. Just keep in mind that the PPSH drum mags, you can only buy 4 of them at a time. There is a barter with proper for 2 more if you want to for weapon parts, but the weapon parts can get kind of pricey now and again. So an easy thing to do, I'm showing you a whole lineage of stuff here. I hope you guys want to know this. You can go into your workbench and craft from a VP209. You can get 2 weapon parts, and these, well, they're on the flea, and sometimes fence, you can get them pretty cheap off of him. I just buy them for 29,000, and boom, just like that. And in 49 minutes, I will have 2 weapon parts that I could trade for 2 more drums if I want, or just sell on the flea. Now, aside from this, other options I've seen people running, you can run an M4 with like, say, 100 round mags in it. They've got those 100 round mags. I forget who sells those. Let me go look here real quick. Here we go. These 100 rounders. So you could fill these with real cheap ammo and shoot an M4, but it's going to overheat on you. It's going to jam. Something to keep in mind that you might need to worry about. You could also use drum mags on 5.45 AKs. There's a 94 round drum mag, I believe, with proper that you can put on here, the RPK, or on a 5.45 or RPK, as well as the 75 round drum for 7.62 AKs, pistols, SMGs, all of it. You just got to shoot a lot, and that levels up your recoil skill. Now, I leveled up hideout skills specifically quite a while ago. I've had max hideout management for like half the wipe and crafting, but the same rules apply, and you will level up much quicker. I suggest you do it, give it a try, because if you're not a big hideout guy, here's a chance for you to be able to craft 2 things at once and see the cool perks for having max hideout management with the bonuses and stuff. And all you gotta do is craft, alternate crafts. So for example, go to the laboratory and craft army bandages and regular bandages, and in the workbench craft round pliers and and take DVDs and turn them into circuit boards or something. Just get fast crafts, cycle them. In crafting, each craft yields you about 35 skill points, so you'll get one every 3 level every 3 crafts, give or take. And hideout management's a lot less. What is it? It's about 14 points each craft, but in addition, whatever you burn in fuels and filters will also level hideout management. So make sure you've got your water filter in, a fuel in, as well as the FP100. Yes, we all know the air filter unit doesn't work, but if you throw a filter in here, it will help level your hideout management faster. The thing is, those are kind of expensive right now. I do believe that they are like 300K, I think last time I looked. But I craft mine, but I've been selling them now because they're super expensive, 250, 300K. So throw one of those in there to help level up if you can afford it. Okay, so on to the tougher ones now. Starting off with Vitality. This is the one that looks like it's going to be one of the tougher ones for what it looks like, because it just levels up based on damage taken. We were running around getting bleeds. It didn't look like the bleeds really gave you all that much experience, but damage did. If your buddy shot you, or you crawled through barbed wire, or got shot by a scav, that's going to level up your Vitality. Stress resistance, kind of in the same boat. It's a weird skill. So the best way I found actually to level this up, aside from everything else that we tested, was basically black your legs. So have your buddy shoot your legs and black them. Make sure they're both blacked. You can't have a break. They've got to be clean black and broken. And then just jump. Each jump will net you about 10 skill points, a little bit more, I think. So 10 jumps gets you a level. So you sit there and jump, a couple 100 times in a raid and just heal as you're going through it, and you'll max out stress resistance. And while your legs are blacked, this is one of the best ways to do it. And I guess you could do this with arms too. It doesn't really matter what you do it with, arms or legs, but you want to have 2. Have them blacked and have a light bleed. And that light bleed will you can do it with a heavy bleed too, but you got to heal more doing that. If you fix a limb with a light bleed, the bleed will re-black that limb almost immediately. So you just cycle back and forth between your 2 legs with a bleed, and you can level up surgery. It's going to take a while. You can bring in CMSs because they do surgery a little bit faster, and you're going to end up at 1 hit point eventually anyways with constantly repairing a leg. So you can do that, or you can bring in Serv 12s just because they got, one Serv 12 is worth 3 CMSs. It's entirely up to you, but that is a good way to level up surgery. Now, immunity is another one that I don't know if it's going to be levelable or not. It is a huge pain. So essentially the way immunity levels is if you have a negative debuff. Say negative debuff. That's a double. If you have a negative buff or a debuff, however you want to call it, like food, stims, things like that will give it to you. So let me go look here and I'll show you specifically on a stim. For example, the mule, this negative buff, or on an Obdobolos, melatoninins have them, but so do a lot of foods. For example, a Max Energy has a -1 on stress resistance. Let me find a vodka because those do as well, or Dan Jackiels. These negative memory health, those are debuffs. Those are what level immunity based on duration. The longer the duration, the more skill points you get. So short ones don't give you that many points, but they're guaranteed. The problem is that if you do a really long one and die, you don't get credit. So like, let's say you hit a Obdobolos, which is one of the longer debuffs out there, but you die before that debuff wears off, you will not get the immunity points. That being said, you can stack these. You can hit an Obdobolos, go sit in a corner, you can drink a vodka, you can drink a Max Energy drink, hang out, you know, watch a YouTube video, and then just keep drinking those vodkas and max energies as the debuffs wear off and cycle them. And that whole time that Audabolos is running, once it wears off, it'll give you skill points. That's about the only way I think you can level immunity. So it is going to be kind of grindy, but for people that played the Halloween event, if you have max immunity, it pretty much removes any debuffs that they could throw at us in an event. So it might be one that is really worth focusing and going after. Now for mag drills, that one is just a grind as well. You got to sit there and load and unload mags. There's nothing else to it. Faster mags, I think, are a better way to do it. So like if you go look at a mag, specifically, it'll have this load unload speed modifier. That one's slow, right? Versus this one, it's 20%, but some mags are really quick. Like this one doesn't have a modifier to it. I don't off the top of my head know any that have like a negative that, you know, that you can load them really quickly. Oh, there's one right there. So if you can find one that's like this that you can load quicker, it will level faster. But the big mags, you can just start them loading and then do something else while it's loading, and then unload it and then load it and unload it, and that'll work. It's entirely up to you and how much effort you want to put into it. And then another one that I don't know that's going to be able to be leveled up quickly is aim drills. Essentially, this is your ADS and you hit something, you hit a target, PMC, scav, whatever. It gives you skills towards this. So it might be possible if you're fighting lots of enemies and you're like, let's say you're using leg meta, so you're not like you're shooting like 10 times at something and you're hitting them 10 times. That might be more skill points than obviously than just one tapping them in its head. But aside from that, there's not really any good way to power level that quickly. Moving on from that, right next to it, we've got troubleshooting. Troubleshooting is essentially if you get a jam and you figure out what causes the jam. I don't think it matters if you undo it. It's the inspect that gives you the points. I didn't check super close, but you have to undo the jam to get another one. Now, there's two ways to go about this. You can get a really beat up weapon that will make it more likely to jam, and that's what I'm obviously doing with this vector. That's why I didn't want to repair it, is I'm beating this vector down to nothingness, and hopefully it'll just jam constantly once I get it lower. The other thing you can do is put like a suppressor on an AK or an M4. Make sure you get that heat up, because it will jam constantly once it gets hot. So you put a 100 round mag and an M4 with a suppressor, and just make it heat up. Put some parts on there that have really shitty stats for heat. Make it heat up. Every time you shoot it, it's going to jam like every 3 or 4 rounds once it gets really hot. And each one of those cycles will level up malfunction, troubleshooting, sorry. So the malfunction will level up troubleshooting. And that's the only way I can think of doing it. Now, one thing I will mention is throwables. I think this is one that will not be able to be leveled up. I keep going to the wrong spot here. Let me get back to throwables. I threw a bunch of grenades to test this out. I didn't see any differences in types of grenades. So like if you threw a smoke or a F1 or a M67 or a flash, they all gave about 2.5 points, it looked like to me, per throw. So you do the math, 2.5. That means you've got to throw like 40 per 100 skill points. So 40 grenades per level times 50 levels. It's a lot. So yeah, maybe not doable. If you can get it done, good for you. I might try it. We might push it and just grind it out one of these days. Right now, I'm not super interested in it, but I wanted to get the information for you guys so you could see it. And then kind of a mention just quickly, because it's not something really worth, you're not going to be able to level up, I guess. And that is charisma, memory, and those you'll be able to level up, but they level up passively. There's nothing directly you do to level those up. They will level up as you do other items. So just level up some of these other skills, and then hopefully those will max out as well. Kind of depends on where you fall, but I think memory for sure, but charisma should, with looting and stuff like that, should level up as well. But intellect, I think, is stuck, because intellect levels up based on, from what it looked like, hideout skill kind of stuff, crafting, things like that, crafting skill leveling up, as well as some other things. And mine hasn't really moved because mine are already maxed. If yours weren't maxed and you're leveling up, maybe it'll level up with those. I do not know, but looking at the wiki, the bonuses don't really matter anyways. Just kind of is what it is. And then absolute last but not least, and you're probably wondering why I didn't mention these: strength, endurance, and where is it? Covert movement. These three, I think, are bugged. They're not working like the rest. They do not have bonuses applied to them. They don't have diminishing returns, so you will be able to level them up faster than you could without before this event. But they don't have any bonus applied to them. They don't level up super quick. And I think it's an oversight by BSG. And the reason I say that is because all three of these skills level up a product of how far you travel. That's one of the main pieces to how these gauge how many skill points you get is distance traveled. So because of that, that lets me to believe that they just overlooked something in the equations or however they boosted these, and these just got overlooked. I think hopefully we get a patch or we get them fixed. And if they do, pretty simply put, strength only levels up when you're overweight. Endurance only levels up when you're underweight. And that is doable by looking at your character. I can't tell if you can see here. Let me turn myself off. This down here you see is 36.2. That has to be white in order for it to work. So let me pull off my armor and show you what it looks like. So if that's not white, green, whatever, it's not yellow. You level up endurance now, and then this should level up strength, and that's how it works. And then it's just based off of distance traveled. So you go into raid overweight, you can level your strength. If you go in as you're running around, if you go into raid underweight, you level endurance, just running around or walking. So if they do apply a boost, that is how you do it. And covert movement is basically just kind of crouched or moving or walking. You know, you're not moving at super loud speeds. People say if there's one little noise bar on that little speaker on the bottom left of your character screen, that's when you level it. I don't know. Never worried about it too much. I have gotten to 29, or no, that's the wrong one. I've gotten to 33 this wipe without really like even focusing or trying on it. So there you go. But that's it. That's all the skills right there. Covered them. Hope this is helpful. Hope this helps you get your skills leveled up if you want to, or focus on the ones that you think. Again, things like the hideout management, I think you should do. For sure, weapons, because it's super easy, as well as immunity. Because if we get some kind of cruddy event down the road here with the pre-wipe events that has some kind of negative debuff, immunity is going to prevent you from having that. So it might be something worth going after and trying. But with that, we'll finish her up. We'll wrap her up. We'll send you on our way. I wish you guys the best of luck. I hope you enjoy the pre-wipe events and whatever we have coming forward from this point on. I'm looking forward to it. I like the start so far, getting all the lower level players on an even playing ground with people who've played a bunch for whatever we've got coming our way. So we'll end her there. Wish you the best of luck in your raids, and we'll see you in Tarkov.